So, if you thought Love is Blind season 6 was a lot, you should watch the reunion, and I hope you have watched the reunion so that we can, or I can, speak freely without spoiling anything for you. And I loved, everything about the reunion, from the secret hookups to the juicy, never before seen footage. It was full of unresolved drama between the contestants, and for the most part, at the end, we got the answers that we were looking for. So here's a recap of what went down. So, as many suspected, Jeremy and Sarah Ann did begin dating after filming. They've been together for almost a year now, ever since the day at the lake, and have recently moved in together. Though it doesn't appear to be all blissful, because Chelsea, she mentioned that she met up with Jeremy a few times, and he kept mentioning that they had broken up. I feel like this love triangle between Jeremy, Sarah Ann, and Laura was just really blown out of proportion. I think that Jeremy really, maybe for a moment, thought he had made the right choice in Laura, but once they got into the real world, he realized that it wasn't going to work. And I think he should have been man enough to be honest with her instead of sharing his location and then lying when he had already shared his location. But I'm happy that they clarified everything and that, almost everybody got their truths out. And it was really interesting to see, the divide between the cast and see how much heat that, both Sarah Ann and Jeremy got from the cast, from Jessica, AD, Chelsea, and Laura, of course, who had some very strong words. But I think this is the purpose of the experiment, really, and that's why they get 2 weeks out in the real world to really confirm to see if this is their person. And, ultimately, Jeremy and Laura were just not a match, and Sarah Ann was his person. Will they last? I don't know. I feel like there is some, toxicity involved in terms of their, relationship, and the fact that they're broken up multiple times in a year, but they have moved in together, so we can only wish them the best. Jeremy said that, claims that he was with someone before filming are simply not true. So Jeremy clarified that as well. He insisted that he was single before being approached to do the show. And I believe him, because he did come on social media and he was very clear that he told both ladies in the pods that he was not, that he had an ex-fiance. And, he also confirmed that nothing happened with Sarah Ann on the night they stayed out together. We will never know if something happened or not, because I feel, or I believe, if something had happened, he will not be sharing or disclosing that information. Let's talk about Trevor, who also addressed rumors that he had a girlfriend while filming. He claimed he wasn't officially with the woman. However, the chain of messages really didn't match up to what he was saying. And that, he said that he had informed her of his intention to go on Love is Blind. And, he mentioned that they were in a toxic relationship, and that's why he told her that he loved her and that he was going to marry her when he got out. I feel like he didn't really explain much, and just talk about his outfit. Like, what the heck was he wearing? Like, seriously. I'm like, somebody get him a stylist. But he was just a walking contradiction, and so was his outfit, to be honest. Let's zoom in a bit on AD and Clay, who revealed that they didn't speak for weeks after, their failed wedding. And I feel like this was the couple that most of us tuned in to watch and to get an update on, because we all were hurt and all our hearts were broken with AD's heart when Clay said no to her at the altar. And I really appreciated Clay and his reflection looking back, where he admitted that yes, he made a mistake by not saying yes at the altar. And he called AD the love of his life, which really, I don't know, it's just like, words are words, but Clay, your actions have said or have proven differently. So throughout the season, you were always saying the right things. You always had the most beautiful words. So for me, it's questionable. And I'm thinking, is he putting on a show just because he's on the show? Or are these his real sentiments? And he has explained that he has grown a lot since the show ended through therapy and, self-reflection. He has also opened up to giving his relationship, with AD another shot. However, when he asked her about her thoughts, AD blushed before changing the subject. And I feel like they are together, or they're creeping on the low. However, AD just wants to keep that information between them for the moment, because she wants to save face and she doesn't want to look like the girl, the pick-me girl, the girl who has low self-confidence and is willing to easily forgive a guy, even though that guy have proven time and time again that he doesn't merit her attention, her love. But in any case, I wish them well, and it was really great to see so much emotion from Clay, and him really taking accountability for his actions or his part in everything. And I feel or believe that there is room for a relationship between him and AD. And with time, we'll find out more, and we'll see how things go. Let's move on to Jimmy and Chelsea. I didn't really think that there was any chemistry between them. I felt like it was quite contrived, watching them on the show and them constantly saying, I love you, and I was like, oh really? Is it, that they're repeating I love you because they're trying to make us, the viewers, believe that they are really into each other? But it seems like they are. And Jimmy explained that he's still estranged from his female friend, after Chelsea revealed on camera that they previously slept together. And I feel maybe Jimmy was really an honest stand-up guy, and he's not the villain that we thought he was, and that he was really in love with Chelsea, and he was really looking forward to marrying her. But the fact that she decided to, divulge or share a private conversation publicly, he was not able to move past that. And he did say plainly that Chelsea's loose lips were a defining moment for him, and it made him think, or confirmed his decision that he didn't want to marry her. However, in hindsight, he realized that he should have told Chelsea earlier when that became clear, and not to drag her on to the point where she went to try a dress on and had that whole moment, beautiful moment with her family, to tell her that, listen, it wasn't going to work. But I'm happy to see that they're working things out and that they're on their way to something. Maybe it's something, on the low. I don't know if it's going to lead to the aisle, but for the moment, they're working on something. And let's talk about also Johnny and Amy, who are very happy together. And I'm happy to see them together, and that they're still together, and that they're living their best life. And I love that they clarified that discussion or conversation that they were having around birth control, because it was really something that gave me a bit of the ick. The fact that, he was asking her to get on birth control when condoms exist for a reason. And, he didn't even think about the idea of a vasectomy, because oftentimes when we think about birth control, the onus is always placed on the woman. And it's just not fair. But I'm happy to see that they found a solution that works for them, and that they're very happy. I feel like they are a match made in heaven, and a true proof that, for certain people, love is truly blind, and they both found their person. The next moment was Ken and Brittany, and I loved them because Ken got a lot of flack for always being on his phone. Once they got into the real world, and the fact that people thought that he wasn't validating Brittany's feelings when she was communicating with him. And although it may not have looked like it, he took the breakup with Brittany very hard, as he shared that he called Clay quite distraught after they called off their wedding. But it's nice to see that today he and Brittany are very close friends, and I think maybe that has to do. I don't want to spread rumors, but a lot of people have been saying that he's blessed or touched by an angel. If you know, you know, and possibly. However, it ain't none of my business. So moving right along. Overall, I think it was an amazing reunion. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I sat glued to my computer screen, and I look forward to the next season. This season has me hooked and giddy to see what the next seasons will bring. So thank you, and let me know what you guys thought about the reunion.